Hi there, this is Paul Thompson from Spitfire Audio. I'm very excited today to be able to show you our latest string library, London Contemporary Orchestra Strings. This is an innovative and experimental library. It has a load of really unique articulations that you literally won't find anywhere else. Articulations that have been workshopped by the London Contemporary Orchestra during work that they've done with artists like Radiohead, Johnny Greenwood, and from their work on the latest Alien film, Alien Covenant. This library ranges from raw, in-your-face sounds and can add real excitement, emotion and interest to existing string libraries that you're using, but also it can stand on its own as an incredibly diverse and exciting library to work with. I'm going to start today by diving straight into the advanced folder and looking at the extended techniques patches, the long techniques here and the short techniques for each of the instruments. And the reason that I'm doing that is so that you can see all of the different long articulations that you have in the library. And let's just jump straight in. I'm just going to use the first mix. There are two mixes, close and room mics, and then two effects treatments in this library, which gives it even more kind of diversity. But we're just going to start with the straightforward longs, and we're calling these our vivid longs. They're played in a really intense and beautiful way. So let's just start right down the bottom of the dynamics and non-vib, and we'll start with something nice and gentle. So you can hear there, I've got a huge dynamic range. It's really intense, it's beautiful, and it's very, very kind of close up. Let's play in a different range of the violin section. So you can hear you've got a huge variety of tone in there. This is a very, very playable and musical library. Let's start going off the beaten track now. So let's look at some of the other articulations. Here are the longs sol pont. So you've got everything from a really hard sol pont there to very, very soft. So let's have a quick listen to sol tasto. And again, you've got a great different kind of sound at the lower dynamic to the higher dynamic. So a really, really gentle, edgy sound at the lowest dynamic. And then as you pull through smoothly through the mod wheel range, CC1 range, and you get into the higher dynamics, then you're getting a more intense and passionate sound. Let's check out the harmonics. Okay, so these are all kind of articulations that you might think, okay, well, I've got a good grab bag there. I've got a good selection of my kind of basic meat and two veg. So here, let's really start kind of experimenting outwards from there. So super pont. So you can hear here we're playing so far onto the bridge that there's almost no tone at all. You just get the odd little scratchy sound coming through. And this can sound particularly good to give you a kind of real air to another articulation. So if you're playing a normal kind of string line and then you add this on as a layer over the top, you can also dynamically crossfade it as well. So that's an incredibly useful articulation. Our Spectral Scrubs, this is a very, very beautiful sound. And this, again, is one of those sounds that you can layer onto other sounds. Check this out. So really fabulous sound, very, very little undulations going on there. Let's carry on. We've got our granular sounds now. So this is an articulation that goes from granular to normal. So check this one out. And then if we actually play a chord with this, check this just out. So you've got in here, and this is where we start to get into the really useful stuff. This is stuff that just can't be done with the normal string library. This is the kind of thing that where you're presented with this as a, and you're trying to pitch for a job, let's say, and you've got something that's been kind of temp tracked with one of these incredible, beautiful, very artistic string arrangements, and you just sit and look at it and you think, well, how can I do something like this? Well, here are the tools to do that kind of thing. This is one of my favorites, a slow wide vib. And this, again, something that you just can't, you have to have this actually being performed. And this is the real specialism of the LCO, into getting into these kind of almost experimental techniques of playing. Let's check out the next one, a woozy vib. So this is a slightly different technique to that one, but I'll play in the same kind of range so you can hear it for comparison. And this is kind of giving you that real edgy and slightly uncomfortable kind of vibe. But if you blend these over some other articulations, even the longs within the library itself. So if I shift click to add in the vivid long, then you can check out this sound and see how it works blending it together with something slightly more straightforward. So you can hear there you've got the kind of tone center of the straight long, but you've also got the beautiful kind of unease of the woozy vib as well. So combining these with other string articulations is a real way to get an extra feel that you've got that kind of live section going, and that you're giving them some kind of crazy instructions, and just to kind of get something that's slightly different from the run-of-the-mill normal stuff. So we've got our quick wide vib as well. Check this one out. And you can hear that this is a kind of more regular sound, slightly more, slightly faster. Now we're going to venture into our open sounds. I'm going to jump forward slightly to the open normale. And this uses a kind of scordatura technique. So let's check this out. So this is working on that kind of detuned strings kind of vibe, and we've got a variety of different articulations in here as well. You'll notice that obviously the by its nature the range is slightly smaller than the normal range, but here we're still using these detuned opens, granular to normale. So it's a really cool sound. Then using the same kind of vibe but with the trems. Again, this is we're really off the beaten track here. This is really unique kind of articulations that you're getting here. So you can't do this with anything else. Here we go for the irregular sounds. I'm going to play major second simultaneously. And as you can hear, very dynamic, very musical. I'm playing it as I'm working. Let's jump over. So we've done our open normale. Let's go for our twitchy longs. Love these. Here we go. And you can hear you've got these lovely undulations going on within the actual note itself. So really lovely patch to play with. Slackened. So some good stuff in there, and you can hear that you've got your left hand and your right hand set up so that you can craft a very interesting kind of section within this. Trem sol pont. Okay, so we're back into kind of familiar territory, but again with this very close, beautiful sound. And again, as you can hear, these are being performed in a really interesting way. So it's not your standard kind of stuff. What we're getting here is a very individual and unique take on what could be a kind of plain vanilla sound, trem sol pont. Finally, our straight granular trems. And so this is also unique here, but you've got the granular sound, but you've got it staying on the kind of granular trem vibe rather than moving into or out of normale as the previous granular was. So that's a look at the long techniques for the violins. Now let's jump over to the short techniques. Now we've got our vivid spiccato. So as you can hear, very characterful as well, not just a plain straight spiccato. and it's very, very wide dynamic, so it's very, very playable. We've got our kind of slightly more aggressive. And here we've got that, you know, really kind of digging into the strings. We've got our percussive pizzicato, and again, very, very dynamic, very unusual sounding. Can go from the tiniest to the real heaviest slappy kind of sound, and you're getting you know, it's very, very smooth. So just as you play, it's very, very dynamic, very responsive to the keyboard. Important that you can play all this stuff. This is not a phrase library. It's not an aleatoric library. This is a playable string library with all of these techniques designed so that you've got maximum control. You've got dynamic control, vibrato control where relevant. Let's check out our short harmonics. So again, nice and dynamic. We've got our slackened crescendos. So again, we've got a variety of different performance techniques within here, but something that you can combine to a very specific performance that matches exactly what you're trying to get. And here we've got bridge scrapes. Let's jump across now, and we're going to go to the cellos. We're going to go back to the longs, so I'm going to play you through the longs, and then we'll jump through a couple of the articulations in here. So very beautiful, wide dynamic range. Again, lots of control over vibrato. We can jump across to harmonics. Beautiful sound. Let's jump to our super pont. Just love hearing those harmonics just kind of creeping out and just kind of scattered throughout the notes. Very, very lovely. Spectral Scrubs again down here is particularly beautiful, so let's check this out. And again, this, although it's a fantastic sound on its own, you can really blend this in. In fact, let's do that. Shift click on the vivid longs, check out how it sounds, and I'll just play. So you can hear it adds a really lovely flavour. We've got our granulars again. It's a great sound cycling around there. Slow, wide vibs. Woozy vibs again. Open the various opens here. Let's just check out the normal. beautiful sound. And then our open granulars, as before, are twitchy. Let's check this one out. And then finally, slackened. So some cool stuff in there. Again, with cello shorts are vivid. Lovely stuff. The pits. Again, same technique you hear before. Are short slackened. And finally, bridge scrapes. Nice stuff. So let's go in now. Let's check out a couple of the violas, and then we'll jump to the basses and cello, and then we'll whack the whole thing together and just have a quick busk. So, violas. So a really rich sound, very, very beautiful. Just check out our soltastos. And that's lovely, lovely soft sound at the very top end there. We've got our other kind of matching articulations through here. Let's check out the slow wides as an example. So we get the idea. Now let's jump across to the basses and cello. And let's check out our longs here. So that's a great sound as well. And just picking something else at random, open irregular trims. So let's jump back to, before we move on, let's check out the shorts. And pizzas. So let's start a few little layering things and see where we get to. So I'm going to add in the cello, and we've got on both of these the longs up, and let's check this out. So you can hear you've got a nice rich sound there for blending. Let's drop the basses in cello and let's add in the violas. We'll do this crossover a couple of times. So I'm going to just switch the violas to channel 1. So again, we've got our longs going here. Check this out. So that's a cool sound. And then let's jump across to the violin. So we'll mix the violins and violas just to get the MIDI track on the same. Okay. And that sounds like this. Pretty cool. Okay, so within the library, you also have the usual stuff of economics and light resources. You've also got individual articulations available as their own individual patches. So here we have the root level of the library within the instruments folder. We have the curated patch. So this has got a grab bag of all the good stuff, but it's also got a blend, a mixture between the shorts and the longs. So I'm going to jump to something that you'll recognize the sound of. So let's go for a spiccato. And then we're going to just play through quickly the mics so you can hear what each different mic sounds like. So this is the closest. We've got our room, which has a slightly airier sound. You can hear there's more distance there. We've got our first effects pass. And these are all outboard, real analog stuff. You can hear there you've got a nice crunchy one. And then our mix that we've been listening to, and the second mix is a slightly more aggressive mix using some of that crunch. So you can hear in there you've also got some really great stuff going on there. So those are the blends, the mixes that you've got within the library. We've had a look at all of the sections now of London Contemporary Orchestra Strings. Hope that I've kind of given you a clear overview of the library. What you have here, in my opinion, a really innovative and unique sound, very, very playable and musical. I think you're going to enjoy using this, and this will give you stuff that you just simply can't do with any other string library. It's really, really useful on its own to create these beautiful, intense and searing kind of sounds that you'll associate with, you know, the scores of Johnny Greenwood, for example, but also to use as a blending tool to give you your own sound on another string library. You can overlay these sounds and just kind of feather them in to get that kind of thing where your ear can pick out there's something really interesting and unique going on. You can't quite work out what it is. It really is a very, very new and useful tool to the kind of composers and producers arsenal. Hope you're going to enjoy using it. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye bye.